And here we go. I'm live. Not live. I'm recorded with Joe. How you doing, Joe?
Hey, Brad, we're live now recording,
Yeah.
but
Now we're
yep.
recording, and I doubt you
Ah,
saw that one coming. No, we're talking about the movie Doubt. So yeah, we're not live. This is recorded. So don't worry if you're seeing this, it's not live. Doubt. Just gonna introduce the movie, and then we'll get into it like we normally do. 2008 film written and directed by John Patrick Shanley, which was based on a play that he had written and stage play called Doubt, a Parable. And so this takes place in 1964, I believe, which I remember that him saying the year after Kennedy was assassinated. He says that in the sermon, which I'll get to in a moment. In a Catholic elementary school called St. Nicholas. And so it stars Meryl Streep, Phillip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams, and Viola Davis. So in Doubt, Philip Seymour Hoffman plays a Catholic priest, Father Flynn, correct? I just ran, yeah.
sure.
That's why I said I was going to read it. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. No, I was
Don't
testing
fact
you.
check with me. I don't
It
remember.
is. No, yeah, it is Father Flynn. That's right. I'm like, I just blanked on it. So I told you I was going to blank on his name. I blanked on the
I
character.
don't think his name is that important, but
Well,
continue.
I just want to, yeah, he's the priest, and then Meryl Streep plays the nun. She's the principal at the school. He's the priest at the school. Kind of, he's the new priest there, young priest. And then you have um, student Donald Miller, who is notable because he's the first African American student at St. Nicholas, which comes into play. You also have Amy Miller playing Sister James, a young, fairly new teacher who comes off a little bit, a little bit naive, I would think, or
Mhm.
she's very well intentioned, good spirited, naive, and so you have this dynamic set up here where you have Sister Aloysius is the principal. She's very conservative, kind of old school. And then you have Philip Seymour Hoffman playing Father Flynn, who's a young teacher. He just came to St. Nicholas. He's got kind of a newer, I could even use the word progressive mindset about how the Catholic Church should relate to the laity or to Catholics and to the world, which isn't surprising. This film is set in 1964. This is right at the beginning of the Second Vatican Council. So I don't know, Joe, if you know much about that, but that was a big deal in the 60s, kind of changed the direction in many ways that the Catholic Church was going. Um, and so that's a backdrop there for people who don't know. The Second Vatican Council, I think, is a big backdrop, even though it's not explicit. I don't even think it's mentioned at all. But the idea was that the church was going to take a kind of a modern turn or let the world in. There was a famous phrase from that, gonna open the windows and let the air in or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but in hindsight, it actually plays well with this, which I'll get to that because you get this battle right away between this conservative, more rigid mindset and the more progressive mindset, because then what comes into play is Sister Aloysius comes to suspect Father Flynn of having some kind of inappropriate relationship with the young black student, with Donald. This begins, it seems harmless enough, with she sees Father Flynn checking the is it the fingernails at that point, or the one point the
Uh,
kid pulls back from him. I remember later he looks at his
yeah.
fingernails. Um, it's a little weird with the
Well,
fingernail thing.
it's the thing that stuck out to me is what gets Amy Adams' character to be concerned is they have some time together and then he comes back and gives the boy no puts the was it the undershirt
The
or
undershirt
like in
into
back
his
in the
locker.
locker
Yeah,
and the boy comes back kind of
yeah,
upset and it's like
yeah.
ambiguous as to why.
Well, yeah. Well, I failed to mention. So for those who haven't seen the movie or those who have seen, so we are going to give some spoilers here if you haven't seen the
Spoilers.
movie. There's spoilers, and there's also going to be a few hot takes. Probably not. Probably some cold,
Well,
freezing cold.
well,
No,
it's
their
not a light
takes,
movie.
their takes. Yeah. Anyway, what first alerted Sister Aloysius was just she's watching from up in a window and she sees a boy pull back from him in a kind of an awkward manner. So what that shows, this comes up later, is her radar was already activated because she says she had an earlier at a different school where she had a priest that she dealt with who had an inappropriate relationship with a student. So she's already suspects him.
Hmm.
And what adds fuel to that fire, or what is to get to the title of the film, Doubt. At the beginning of the film, uh, Father Flynn gives a sermon about doubt. He talks about doubt and in his mind, the utility of doubt, because he talks about the assassination of Kennedy and how that was such a tumultuous time. You can imagine mainly these are like Irish, a lot of Irish Catholics, but Catholics in general,
Boston. Yeah.
because Kennedy was the first Catholic president. Um, and then to have him assassinated, young man too, and to be assassinated in such a public way, that it really shook a lot of people up. Had a lot of doubts. And he said, it's okay to have doubts. It's even okay to have doubts about your faith, and that doubts can be something that people can find unity in. They can kind of come together based on their own doubts. She doesn't like that at all. And it is kind of you kind of scratch your head there, like it's not something you'd expect from a priest in a sermon to be talking about doubts, but all this comes together as she suspects Father Flynn of having this inappropriate relationship with Donald, who I failed to mention is an altar boy. So he
Mm.
serves with Father Flynn. He's in the sacristy vesting with him, and so it would make sense that Father Flynn would spend maybe a little more time alone with him than with the other boys. But she sees a change in behavior. She sees the way he's acting, and then when Sister James, the Amy Adams character, says what she saw that you already mentioned, um, it eventually leads to a confrontation, and she openly accuses him in so many words of having an inappropriate relationship, uh, to which he has an equally believable alibi, or he also has a story where the boy was caught drinking altar wine, and then for that offense, you're supposed to be kicked out of the altar boys. You can't be an altar server anymore. But he gives him a second chance, and he didn't want anybody to know about it, which explains why. Which Sister James smells alcohol on the boy's breath after a meeting with Father Flynn. I hope all that's as clear as mud, but it sounded a little convoluted. But that's kind of the streams that are going on here. You have the main characters. The nun suspects the priest. The priest is kind of a free thinker or acts differently than most priests do. You have the young boy who has a kind of a different temperament already, and then you have the young nun who is wants to believe the best about everybody, but also has suspicions herself. And so they all begin to have these doubts about each other, about what's true, about how they're supposed to respond to the others in the situation at hand. Um, and then just I'll get to the end of this, and and then Sister Aloysius, the Meryl Streep character, shares with the boy's mother that she suspects the priest of having an inappropriate relationship with her son. And the mother basically says, yeah, or, I'm okay with that as long as he gets good grades and he gets out of there, because she basically says that she believes her son is gay, or has that kind of attraction. And so at least he's not getting the kind of negative attention like he gets from his father who beats him. And so whatever it is, so he can get good grades and get out of there. That's kind of how it is, which is shocking, but and then um so that leads to Sister Aloysius confronting Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, Father Flynn. And she says, I called a previous parish, spoke to a nun. They said you got in trouble for stuff like this in the past. And he says, you're not supposed to talk to the nun. You're supposed to talk to the pastor, yada, yada. But she never called the
Fire.
nun. And so she assumed if he was guilty.
That was that was good. Like, well, he
Yeah.
there wouldn't have really been a problem if he had, said, "Oh, worried about it," but that's how I knew. So she kind of
Yeah.
bent the rules. I thought that little twist was good. I kind of saw it coming, but I did like that part. It was like, oh, it was like a
Hmm.
aha.
And so though you get to the end and he leaves, he's moved by the bishop to another place where he's actually kind of given an advancement. He's given a promotion. She's like, that's not how it's supposed to work, but that's how it works. But you're never really don't think you're ever really satisfied one way or the other, like who's guilty or what happened or how much
No,
happened. So that's why you have doubts. That's why you have the that's why you have that's why
it's
it's
a
called doubt. Like
it's a guess.
we're not sure.
Yeah.
Um so that's
Oh
doubt.
man.
Um
Yeah. You really painted that clear picture with that very detailed synopsis that you clearly memorized. Clearly, like emphatic. Absolutely. No, no, really. Excellent. Yeah, it's like I saw it again.
hey, I hope you were picturing it as you went along. I'm trying to piece together the puzzle.
No, the narration was
Hey,
awesome.
you know what? If you're watching this, go and watch the movie for yourself. Don't take my word
Yeah.
for it. But
Yes.
anyway,
Yeah. Check.
that's the idea. It really is. I can see it as the film plays out. It really kind of moves forward like a stage play.
Mhm.
You can see the different acts, and then toward the end again, like you're not. I mean, we're not sure if the priest did anything wrong or what he did wrong or how much he did, because just because he got in trouble he's already a progressive thinker. Maybe he got in trouble
Mhm.
for that. Maybe it had nothing to do with anything sexual.
Mhm.
We're not sure. Um, so that's basically doubt. Um, one thing I'll say,
Just it really sums it up. It's just funny. Keep going. It's like a punchline. Keep going. Sorry.
no. Well, I mean, am I missing something?
No, I just think it's funny. It's just my demented sense of humor.
I just want to make sure I cover all the bases. I will say this. Here's what I thought. I really think that this movie was greatly assisted by the fact that it had some really great acting in it. I could see this really dragging and not going anywhere if it wasn't carried forward by some of the acting performances.
Mhm.
You have some great scenes, like the scene where the two nuns confront Father Flynn in his office, and they're there under the pretense that they want to talk about the Christmas pageant, and then they basically tell him their suspicions, and he's acting nervously. They're opening and closing the shades to let the light in. He wants to let the keep it dark. She wants to let the light in, which is kind of a symbolic move there. Uh, he's drinking tea with sugar. She's not having any sugar. He's taking a lot of sugar. He likes, what was it, Frosty the Snowman? He wants Frosty the Snowman
More secular
secular
songs. Yeah.
music, and she's offended by that. The young nun likes Frosty the Snowman.
I like Frosty the
Yeah.
Snowman.
It's a really tense scene. Like they're just talking
Mhm.
about Christmas pageant stuff, but I'm like, oh man, this is
Because
kind of
there's a
tense.
lot behind that
Yeah.
simple conversation of their opposing viewpoints.
hmm
Mhm.
So, well, as I was watching it, I'm thinking like this, this is because you do have Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Meryl Streep does a really good job too, being like a counterbalance to him. Because if you didn't have that level of acting, I think it could get hokey and boring. To me, I was like, okay, this is how, it kind of plods along at the beginning, the movie, I think. I mean, you kind of it's a little bit slow in forming, I thought, getting to the point. I don't know, it was just me. But I still found it interesting because it was because of the actors, because of the acting, because of some of the shots, and I knew something was coming. It was kind of building um in intensity, or like it was building for something, and then you hear that sermon about doubt. Um, so I really think the movie was served well by the quality of acting, whereas
Mhm.
it could have dragged if it weren't the case. So anyway, that's me rambling on about the plot itself, and then that. What did you think, Joe?
Well, honestly, well, I'm curious why you suggested this movie. Like, what kind of spoke out to you to bring this one on the podcast? Because no, if there was anything, because I thought if it was I was happy you did.
hmm
If there was anything that sparked it for any reason, because this is one that's been on. It was literally no lie. This was in my like hoopla,
Yeah.
like favorites list to watch. Like it's in on my list of like highly rated. So it was on there. I'm like, oh, I have an excuse to watch it now. So finally watched it. What
No, yeah.
anything?
I had never seen it. I forget. I was reading something online, and someone met. I read on a. I forget what I was. I was looking up something else, and I came across where someone put how much they loved the movie Doubt, and had forgotten about it, and how great Philip
Mm.
Seymour Hoffman is in that. I like Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think everything he's been in, I like. So I saw that I could watch it on Amazon with a free 7-day trial, so I didn't have to pay for it. And I thought this would be interesting. That's why I mentioned it to you. I'm going to watch it. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. I'd never seen it, and I'd forgotten about it. With Philip Seymour
Mhm.
Hoffman and Meryl Streep and Adam. So it has and I believe they were all nominated for Oscars for that.
I
I'm
don't know
not
if they
sure if
won
they
anything though,
won.
did they?
I don't think they won, but they got
Um,
nominated. Uh,
well, all right. Well, this is a movie that I'd heard about over time. Like, not. I feel like it's not one that was like praised a lot, like in the years after. You know, how you hear about like the big movies. Like, it
mhm.
definitely came up, and I had a friend who was like, "Oh man, yeah, that movie Doubt was great." So I, respect some people's opinions, but yeah, I don't know. So, uh, maybe I went in with some higher expectations. Like I was expecting, like you said, with the powerhouse of the actors, I was expecting like a brilliant, powerful film. And I guess for me, it was a little bit understated. Uh, Man, I feel like I'm going to be mean on this one. So I think I really like the point you made about the acting, and you're right. If this was lesser actors, unknowns perhaps of less caliber, it would have suffered for it.
Mhm.
And you're right. There, Philip Seymour Hoffman is great. Meryl Streep does a really good job. This is my first hot take of the video. I am not a huge Meryl Streep fan. I know that she like gets love being great. She's a good actress, of course, but I kind of think she's one of those people that I don't think she has the most range, you
Mhm.
know. So, and it's also because I was forced to watch Out of Africa in school, and I thought that was one of the most boring movies ever made. So I'm probably jaded because of that, but that's beside the point. No, I thought that the filmmaking, first of all, like technically speaking, I think because it was a play and the focus is more on the dialogue and people talking, that I think it was trying to film that to not be too, visceral and eye popping with dramatic technical stuff and camera movements and lighting. Nothing fancy, nothing interesting, nothing weird from a filmmaking visual perspective, which I think was okay because it was supposed to be more grounded and realistic. But there was some camera stuff, and for me, I do agree that it does kind of slowly build. But for personally, for me, Brad, I think the movie peaked really early because you mentioned his sermon, his homily on doubt. I think that's the best part of the movie. That because it sets the stage for philosophically what the film's about.
Mhm.
And I thought it was really well delivered. I think that it has a really interesting message. Uh, but because everything else that follows doesn't seem to dive deep enough into any of the characters or try to resolve or push anything, I feel like it gets you to think about some of these things on a light level. And I was watching this with Amanda too, and everything about the movie kind of plays it too safe. Like it's very surface level. I've seen films that delve a lot into these kind of moral questions and they're not afraid to go there. And this feels kind of like the Oscar baity movie where, okay, we've got this play. Maybe it had a lot of accolades. I'm not sure. And you've got some great actors. They're dealing with some, potentially big subject matter, but they're not really going that deeply into it. And I think there is some good dialogue, there's some good exchanges, but honestly, with the exception of, I think probably the best scene is actually with the mom that you mentioned, Viola Davis.
Mhm.
I think that is if the whole movie had had more scenes like that, I think it would have been elevated further. And because that, I feel like the movie was at the crux of that because that's how complicated of a situation it is, not just morally, but it brings like a realism. And yeah, what you said about what her viewpoint of her son's plight was, and how honestly you have to think about the historical context where it's like, hey, I'm a working class, African American black woman. The father is abusive to the son, which was probably more acceptable. And he's like, oh, well, he was possibly homosexual. So she's using that as kind of an excuse to look away at potential abuse. But also, I thought the most interesting thing about it was when she was like you said, it doesn't matter. Get to the good high school, get to the college, because he's a black kid in the 60s, first integrated. Like, give him a shot, because it's like you're kind of like, the looking the other way for something, and it's sort of the ends justify the means from her perspective. It's not that she doesn't care, but she's such in a hopeless, helpless feeling situation that she has to put aside some aspects of safety for her son for some hope of his well-being in the future. And it's really, quite frankly, so messed up what she says. You brought it up about how it's like, well, if there is something going on with the priest, and if it's from his perspective that it's not even malicious, as long as he's getting some attention and love from a male figure, his father isn't providing that. So in a weird way, she's saying it's better, and it's like, obviously that has huge problems, but I can see how somebody, especially in that situation, could end up thinking that way, because what were the other options? Like, I was kind of thinking about police, and I don't know how things would have been handled back then. I'm sure it would have been more cluster, but I kept thinking, well, I know she brought it forth, and maybe that's a commentary on the chain of command, and maybe that has something to do with the Vatican I versus Vatican II, and the structure of the church and the school. But I kept thinking, Meryl Streep, Sister Aloysius, is kind of like our force of good, even though she's kind of tough as nails. We're positioned like she's actually after this guy, even if it's not for the right reasons. We're positioned from her perspective. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, she gets him booted out, but if the kid was being abused, it should have gone a lot farther than that. So it's like, and she cries and breaks down like, oh, I have doubts. But I remember we were watching, it's like, well, okay, you have doubts, but it's unclear what you have doubts about. Do you have doubts about your faith, about your position in the church, your job, if you made the right decision? Were you wrong about accusing him? Like, I'm fine with the idea of doubt, but it seemed like the script didn't know exactly what it wanted to say about doubt. It's like that it's like a big, deep idea, but they kind of grazed it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you a question, because maybe I'm looking at it a little wrong and I'm being too harsh, but philosophically, almost, like, at least from a filmmaking standpoint, if you make a movie that's about doubt and you leave feeling kind of unsatisfied because you have doubts about what happened, okay, that is the point, because you don't get to see as much, right? Like, we only get his story, her story. We don't actually see anything. So therefore we have doubts. I think thematically that's you know, important, but was that a good route to go, I guess?
Yeah.
Because I wish they would have just gone deeper, personally.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Brad? I feel like,
Hold on a second. Joe, can you
did they
see
set out
me?
doing what they were planning on, or what?
Can you
Yeah, I
see
can. You're
me?
frozen though. See,
I'm
see,
frozen, right?
I see. See, I broke the podcast. I'm so mad. I'm
You
sorry.
can hear me, right? You can hear me, but I'm
I
frozen.
can hear you, but I can't.
Look,
You're frozen.
look
You
at all
look like
those
this.
doubts I have. I'm frozen in doubt.
I
What the
doubted
heck is
why.
going on? Well, I'm gonna talk. Hopefully this unfreezes. What the world?
It was getting too heavy. They needed
Oh,
some
wait, wait,
levity.
wait.
Oh wow.
The bull back.
See, I liked Brad. I liked that I just went on this rant and I asked you a question. It was probably incoherent. You were just like, your response was, yeah.
Well, no, I'm looking at myself frozen.
It's
I'm sorry. I know it
because
was a What is going on? You're gonna have to repeat that question because I was frozen in doubt.
Basically, to summarize, Brad, um, the movie's about doubt, so we don't know what happened, which was probably their goal. So, did it? Oh, wait, now something's happened to your camera. Technical difficulties, turning it off and on.
I
It's
doubt.
doubtful we'll get through this podcast.
All right,
You
well, let's
know,
soldier on.
oh man, I'm so sorry. We're very professional, technical difficulties.
I wish I had that music. Like,
um, I don't know. Are you fiddling with your camera, Brad, or should we still carry on this
we can
conversation?
go if you can hear me. I'm trying to get this fixed, but
Well, Brad Sizemore, the name, not the face to the name. Do you think do you think the movie should have gone in deeper into the ideas of the characters, or do you think they went about it the correct way based on their goals? Like, it's good that we doubt what's going on because we can't see anything, basically. Like, am I just I don't
yeah,
know.
I think I see what you're saying because I do think you said you thought the homily, the sermon was like the high point, which I can see
Kind of.
that. I did like the exchange in the office, but and I either way, I think it kind of went downhill after that. Like it just kind of like you said, I like how you put it, play it safe. It kind of fizzled out. So I was waiting for something another level to be exposed. The scene with the mother is good. It's disturbing, but it's good because at least it gives us a context of like, well, okay, well this maybe there's a reason because we know sadly, and I'm not sure what's going on with my camera, but we do know sadly that if someone is going to target um a young person for something like that, if a young boy especially, it tends to be those um young men or boys with those kinds of with a temperament like that.
Um,
That is a little more um,
um,
vulnerable, emotionally needy. Maybe I don't want to use the word like well it was
uh,
it was kind of a little too on the nose because you remember when he comes in and the first thing he says to the other altar boy is like, "Does this make?" He basically says, "This
oh,
make
does
me
this
look
make you
fat."
look fat? I'm
I
like,
was like, "Yeah,
who?
what are
Who?
you doing?"
That
That's
doesn't
not
seem
something.
realistic.
Yeah, that's not
People.
something a kid. I was like, that's a little too on the nose, but um.
Well, some other things were kind of on the nose too. Actually, you know what? I want to do a sidebar because, like, I don't know. This was probably in the original play because I think he like wrote the movie too. But I liked that it showed that Philip Seymour Hoffman's character was human and he could get angry because he does that other homily
Mhm.
about gossip.
About gossip. Yeah.
To kind of like take a stab at the sisters a little bit. But it's like this is a good segue from Halloween 3 because he talks about the guy in an Irish accent, old father, whatever his
Oh
name was,
yeah,
O'Brien.
yeah.
I'm like, what the like, and he does it the whole thing, like, I don't just like what like they just said, hey, could you actually just do this in an Irish accent? Like, this is where I think the acting they should have dialed it back. Like, no, it took away from the seriousness of it for me, Like he's just like he's and like just go like catch all the feathers. Like I get the metaphor, but it was just like the oh I don't know. So I don't know. I think I don't know if I made the joke yet, Brad, but whoa, you're back. I can see you. Why is your camera all the way over there?
Okay, it works.
What happened?
I don't know. I took this other camera off and anyway. I don't know.
I had my doubts about this recording.
Oh
Oh.
Lord.
Uh,
Yeah, old
no,
father.
oh Oh, like Lassie, it just was so it was too much, man. It was tonally off. I don't know. I before you continue, because I've taken up too much of this. I did want to make the joke as if we haven't done enough already. The truth is, I should have premised it with I have I have my doubts about this movie. I have doubts about the movie,
That would have
Brad.
been a good way to start it. Yeah.
I should, but then I would have played my hand too soon. You picked a movie that I don't say that I didn't hate it. Like I think it's a fine, good, decent movie, but I thought it was going to be like a great film, and it's just kind of it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's not.
Eh,
But yeah,
yeah.
but do you think they should have gone in deeper to the characters, like with the mom, or showed us a bit more of how things played out, or do you think that presenting it from the outside so that it could hammer in the theme of doubt makes sense for their goal? Because I think that makes sense for the goal. I personally just didn't like it because I would have liked
Yeah.
more. I don't know.
I think that was the goal. So I think it makes sense that that's why they did that. And I can understand why you want more because it becomes very. I mean, I think that's what it was. So I've never seen the stage play, of course.
Mhm.
So maybe, sometimes when you try to translate something from the stage to film to the screen, it doesn't play the same way.
It doesn't play the
Play the
same way.
same way. I
Good
also
one. Oh, he's witty. This one. He's witty.
I
Sorry.
freaking got my doubts about this, but anyway,
Hey, like Father Bob
they
Malley.
should have just brought the mob. They should have made it into a mob movie at the end, like the mafia is there.
Why is it? No, we can't joke about every. Okay. Anyway, Boston Mob, go.
I did not like. I'll tell you what I didn't like. I thought the movie. I agree with you. I think it was I would say okay to good movie. That was saved from sinking into obscurity or boredom or whatever by
The Abyss
some
of Doubt.
some good acting and some interest build. I picked it because I heard it was great. I didn't think it was great. So I had read online, I read some things where it was, supposedly was great film.
Our buddy Roger Ebert loved it. Apparently, he's like, "Oh, this movie will get you thinking, and you'll never stop thinking about it." I'm like,
Nah, I'm done
I
thinking.
just, I
I'm
no,
all set.
I'm done with it. I thought it.
I didn't like either. I was like, okay, the sister Aloysius, the Meryl Streep nun. So she's
Yeah,
pretty hardcore, and she just basically says at the one point, like, in order to serve God, sometimes you got to go outside of the rules or whatever, because she lied
yeah,
about
yeah.
calling the nun. She's like she's kind of like a sheepdog guarding the sheep, the children. So sometimes she looks at her role that way, which is fine. I really did not like the ending at all. Her saying
Which
I have
part?
doubts.
Oh, yeah,
Like that's a
yeah. It did.
cop out. Just be
I
strong about it. And I don't know.
Well, this is the thing, and maybe here. Okay, I think you're bringing a point. Maybe you're helping me figure out one thing I didn't like about it because I I don't mind. I don't mind that we didn't see what was going on, and we have to kind of come to the conclusion ourselves because that's about the movie is about doubt. Obviously, I'm okay with that thematically, but as I go back to that conversation, the disturbing one with the mom, that provided so much reason why there could be so much doubt, not just about the situation, but about people's perspective. Like, whoa, like I have doubts about my viewpoints on the mother and on race relations and this and like the Catholic faith and this like it does bring in it brings in strands to tie it back to that theme in the homily at the beginning. But what I would have liked, what you reminded me of, is I want to know more about the characters so I can understand their viewpoints on this situation a little more. That
Mhm.
way, that stupid thing at the end where she's crying, that was unearned. I mean, I get they're saying that deep down she has her struggles too, but we know very little about her. She lost her husband.
Mhm.
That's it. Like, and you could also say, well, you could have these performances and we just watch them and learn a lot about their characters through that. But then maybe you need a longer movie, maybe you need more plot points. It didn't. We need more to bring the human element in, and like you mentioned the backdrop, of JFK. Like, give us a little more about that. I don't know, just yeah, more human
I
elements, I
think
think.
I know exactly what you're saying. I think what's going on here. I don't think maybe I could be completely off here. I think these characters are supposed to be symbols or archetypes for different
Oh,
ways of thinking. Like I don't think that I don't that's why it doesn't zoom in too far. Like the Father Flynn is the progressive type mindset. The
that
nun is conservatism. Um,
I I agree with what you're saying. They could be symbolic, but here's the issue I have with that. I have one issue with that. I Do you think it's problematic and confusing to have Father Flynn be this symbol, this representation of like a progressive movement, a new open movement, but at the same time, he's also potentially like a pedophile or something? I think that's intermingling something like why, I get like that's her kind of way in to say he's bad because she wants to push away the agenda, but like you've got a symbol of something, but then it's also like from a character standpoint there's something else. Like if that's the suspicion, I think the message about what he symbolizes gets muddled. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? I think that was weird to combine those two things,
yeah.
because they
Unless,
could have
yeah,
had
I
this
don't
movie
know.
where it's like, I don't like what you're doing and I disagree with giving the kid alcohol or something. That's inappropriate. They didn't have to go as far with that to have these two people clash. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
think that
Well, I
it's a weird
think,
opinion with
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Maybe the fact that what leads me to say that is the fact that it was a play. And when it was released was around the time with the first wave of the big sex abuse scandal stuff,
that.
out of the Archdiocese of Boston, etc., which had been bubbling to the surface. I can't remember the exact year. You remember Spotlight? Was that the movie?
Yeah, that's why I
But
thought when that because I liked that movie, but I thought that the big thing about that news story was that was unknown till that point. So I didn't realize that was
well, I think
recently.
maybe this is William, what is it? The writer here, maybe saying like because this kind of thing, okay, this is all speculation because I haven't looked into it, but something like a giant scandal like that doesn't happen overnight. That has its roots in earlier decades. So maybe we have to go back and look to where this kind of thing began. And it makes sense if you want to look at it like that. Like instead of like we know that this happened. I don't want to go too far into this, but when there were priests that were accused, or maybe there was good evidence that sometimes they were just moved around.
Oh,
They were just moved somewhere else. The idea being like, well, he can be rehabbed, but just get him out of there. That
oh,
was an
gotcha,
older
yeah.
mindset. And that unfortunately, that wasn't just I mean, that happened with teachers, that happened with doctors, that happened with people all the time. Um,
Mhm.
Abuse. I mean, we're still in an age where abuse is so unfortunately, and
Prevalent.
but we, you know this, we're teachers. We go through all these trainings, and we're mandated reporters, and still things somehow get swept under the rug a little bit here and there. It takes
Mhm.
something, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I agree. Like there's not a lot of background to these characters, or it's not going too far in depth. So I was just thinking maybe it has something to do with that. It has
Mhm.
something to do with like looking into the origins of this kind of scan, like of the what this I don't know.
But that's what I mean. It wasn't really about that. That's why I
No,
think it's
it
just
wasn't.
weird. It's like they threw it in there like
Well, I'm
that's
going
the
to tell you
plot
this
point.
too. That's if that's the case, it's a problem because your average viewer isn't going to have the knowledge that someone like I do about like those kind of things. I'm a theology major. I'm like a Catholic. I know. So not like someone like you're not going to have that same reaction. That's me reading into it.
Mhm.
And so yeah, you're not getting a lot. I think the point is like here's this scene, boom, boom, boom. It's okay to have doubts. Is it okay to doubt? Is it okay to doubt your faith? Is it okay to doubt this? And
I
then,
wish I wish there was more of a discussion about that question.
yeah,
That
and then like, what do you do? And I did like the homily, the sermon about gossip and the story about the pillow and it had you
even
could
with the
see the
Irish accent, Brad.
well, minus the Irish accent. Like you saw the feathers flying around. I thought that was cool.
Was a
I
good
mean,
analogy.
and they're sitting there like kind of sweating. They know that he's talking about them. But then I think you're right. It takes these moments of like intense. There's almost and then it just doesn't go anywhere again. It just like,
Well, it's also, I mean, this could speak to some good things about the nuance, maybe for the movie, is that you have a scene like that, which here's about doubts again. I think that is very easily painting him as like he's antagonistic. He's like, I've got the power. Shut up, ladies. Don't gossip. Like it comes off very threatening and it's not the nicest homily. I'm like, you channel your experiences into the sermon. It's like, well, he's tricked off, clearly. But on the flip side, maybe he's just mad being accused of something he didn't do, and he's just having a human moment where he's angry, So but if he was that angry, he wouldn't do the stupid Irish accent. I mean, it's like I said, I want to give the movie some props, but and I don't know. I think the movie's solid, but when it comes to dramas that deal with these big ideas, and if it's supposed to be based on realism, this didn't seem like an artsy, avant-garde, surrealist film where like everybody's a symbol, like Mother in Jennifer Lawrence or something.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you're gonna go that way, don't try to have this grounded little play story, Ooh, so I don't know.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. I don't know.
Because you have doubts.
I mean, I honestly I doubt I'll watch it again anytime. I don't know.
I unfortunately, Brad, I'm confident that I'm probably never gonna watch it
You're
again.
gonna see?
I can't even say I'm doubting it.
I doubt
I
it.
I yeah, you watched again? Yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Now I'm glad I watched it, but I was a little disappointed in it, honestly. Maybe I went in with too high
It wasn't,
expectations.
well, yeah, and it wasn't, I'll say that. It wasn't what I was expecting because the reason I chose it is because I read some things online where people were talking about it was maybe Philip Seymour Hoffman's best performance, which it's
No,
not. I do
no.
agree with you about Meryl Streep. She's okay. I think she's overrated. Uh,
Just yeah, I agree. Ah, that's one I don't
what's her
know. I
best movie?
just
Like what is she the best at? I'm trying to think of like where she's like,
gonna
oh
bring
man,
gonna
that
bring
was
up the
awesome. Like
list.
she's awesome.
Keep talking. So I'm gonna
So
bring
yeah,
up
I
my
can't even
totally
think of like Meryl Streep.
well Meryl Streep. Well, I mean, okay, honestly, I think okay. I'll tell you right off the bat, Brad. Like, I haven't seen that many movies with her, so I can't be like, oh man. But here's the thing: this serious, dramatic film, The Devil Wears Prada. I think she does a much better job in than this movie.
Never saw it.
I mean, like, and that's not like my typical
Yeah,
movie,
I've never
But
seen it. Devil
that
Wears
well,
Prada.
like it's a kind of a like it's I guess it's sort of more of a chick flick, but like it's more memorable than this movie, So it's just like I see. I'm just trying to think. She's in the Deer Hunter. I saw Silkwood a long time ago with that Cher. Out of Africa, terrible. I'm sorry, no, it's
You ever
just
see The
something.
Hours?
Yes, actually, The Hours is pretty good with all the women's different perspectives, and that one's an interesting movie. Oh,
Oh,
she's an
adaptation. I
adaptation.
like adaptation.
Adaptation's interesting. Apparently, she was a voice in AI, artificial intelligence, Stanley Kubrick's sort of last movie. Don't remember that. Oh,
Death
Nightmare
Becomes Her
Canvas.
is kind of is.
Oh yeah, Death
Yeah.
Becomes Her is a pretty fun movie.
Never saw Out of Africa, so with your
I
glowing
don't.
review, I'm not gonna watch it.
It's just
Oh,
I don't
Kramer
know.
versus Kramer is a good. You like? There's a.
Oh, that is a really sad movie for me,
It is
but that's a
sad.
good one.
And Deer Hunter,
Okay,
of course. I really like Deer Hunter.
he was in Fantastic
But
Mr. Fox
she's
apparently.
Deer Hunter's good without her. I don't know. She's all right. It's not like she does. It's not like she does
She's
a
not.
lot.
She didn't get involved in the Russian roulette scene, I
Yeah,
guess. No. Okay. Look, I think I'm sure Meryl Streep is a fine actress. She can, but hasn't she won like 5 Academy Awards? She doesn't need anymore.
they
Like
got to give it
just
to
like
someone. They got to give it to someone.
I'm trying so hard not to curse because I know people like kids watch this sometimes,
She
but
has
like
five.
something like that crazy. Like
Yeah,
how
she's
many?
cocky too. I don't care for that. I don't care for her attitude.
I'm sorry. I like. Hold on a minute. How many?
Like 12.
This is no. It's not that. Meryl Streep. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. I exaggerated. Three,
Oh.
three. Kramer versus Kramer, Sophie's Choice, which I admittedly have never seen. The
Oh,
Iron
that's
Lady,
pretty. Yeah, I forgot about Sophie's Choice. It's yeah.
Sophie's Choice.
Eh,
So there.
eh.
So maybe I know nothing about acting, but like Meryl Streep just doesn't quite do it for me. I don't
The
know.
River Wild. Yeah. I mean, there's some things in there.
You're so enthused by her filmography. You know.
She's no Sybil Shepherd.
Ah.
It's kidding.
Well, look, I liked her in this movie. Actually, honestly, when you first recommended it, Brad, I thought you picked it because like I'm a Catholic school teacher. Joe worked in a Catholic school, and I really actually this has very little to do with the film itself overall, but I liked little things that were authentic that from a teaching perspective, I thought were very interesting and cool how multi-generational things are. Like
Mhm.
when Amy Adams is teaching in her class and the kids are, they're not paying attention, they're goofing off and they're finding ways to get around things. And I like that we did a double take because the kids like has something in his ear and
His
like we have
AirPod.
to deal
Yeah,
with
he's like his
headphones and AirPods.
AirPod.
And I'm like, what? And that at first we were like, wait a minute, this is a timeless movie. But then again, if it's the '60s, shouldn't it feel more like a '60s movie? But no, it was cool. It was a little radio,
Yeah.
little handheld radio, and I think, wow, so that's been a problem since the '60s. Some things don't change. Simple electronics. I liked that, and I did like the early scenes of Sister Aloysius strutting her stuff and like being this hardcore principal, being hardcore admin and
Yeah.
being like, oh, sit up straight, and like she comes to the classroom like, and hey, it's a different perspective, but I did like that she was the tough as nails, like, hey, somebody's got to be the person kids won't mess with,
Yeah,
and
I do agree. Now that you bring that up, one thing I did like, I think works is like it shows like she comes in, she cares about the place, she knows them by name, she knows their personality, she knows their families. Like she even
ooh,
says at one point, "I'm here serving these working class families." Like she has a righteous mission, at least in her mind. Like that's you know,
and I did like that scene because there are some really good exchanges. I do like the one scene where she was talking to, I think it was the sister, Amy Adams, and she was like, "It's like, oh, she's like, oh, they're afraid of you. Yeah, it's okay. Somebody has to do it, but
yeah,
she's doing it because she knows what they need because she does care about them. And she's like, yeah, they hate me, but like that's so that they can have a safe place and get the job done and learn, and you know it's she's doing her serving her role and she owns it and it doesn't bother her
hmm
emotionally. She's cool with it, and I think that's cool. So that was a nice little touches about teaching and administration that felt very authentic, which I really appreciated. I thought that was pretty fun.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Wish they delved more into that too, more of the school stuff. Just it's just I wanted more. I could have still had doubts, but I wanted more, Brad.
Well, yeah, I think it's where we're left. It's a okay good movie. It's an okay movie. It's
I
good.
say it's a good
It's a good
movie. It's
movie.
just not
Yeah.
great.
It's a good movie. It has flashes. It's some good spot highlights.
Acting's
Acting's
good.
fine. Acting's fine. And it's like, yeah. You're not really given resolution, and I guess that's the point.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe if there was a little more meat to chew on that you could have
Hmm
doubts about, I would have been happy with that lack of resolution, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt where they have doubt too.
Doubt. Still wondering.
Still wondering.
It's like, do you still have
Whiskey.
doubts? Doubts come home to roost. And it's just Philip Seymour Hoffman with a machine gun. Like what? It's like they just bought the title and it's not related to the first movie at all. Did you watch it? Why is he like in the jungle fighting like aliens? Why is this Commander ripoff? Doubt 2. Confusion overload. You won't know what hit you. I still don't know. Still doubting.
Still have no idea who did what.
And that's just literally it. People are like, what happened? We don't know. And then the movie just
Must have been good though. Meryl Streep was in it, so must have been
She
good.
won 6 Academy Awards.
She did have 6 Academy Awards. She was in the thing with Kramer.
Hey, think about this though. This is why you do know Meryl Streep's great. She has acted with both the Hoffmans, Dustin Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Double Hoffman. Yeah.
Hoffman and Hoffman. Yeah. What if they ever been in a movie together?
Hmm,
I don't know. Probably not. Too much Hoffman.
Probably not. Too much Hoffman. Hoffman overload.
Hoffman overload. Yeah. Well, I think if we're wrapping up, I'll say, Brad, I think tentatively we have a plan. Maybe over a Thanksgiving break here. Maybe sometime in December. I think we're going to have Nate back on, and we're going to talk about The Green Knight, which I think is actually kind of interestingly enough a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Jim might want to drop by sometime in December, talk about Elf. I guess you want to talk about another Christmas movie. So yeah, maybe we got some guests coming on the show, which will be cool, and that'll give me time to think about what we might review in January.
I doubt it. So that's it. Yeah.
I'll still have no idea. Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know.
Thumbnails like.
Huh?
I know.
What did we even review?
Oh
man!
All right, we're gonna wrap it there. All right. Thanks for abiding with the camera problems, Joe, and I'll see you soon with the Green Knight, I guess. Right?
Yeah, hopefully, potentially.
The Green Knight. Okay. All right. Thanks, Joe. See you.
See you, Brad.